being a mayor really means to the city. We have three, not old faces, but three faces that in 2 years you'll be up for re-election, and it'll be a very important time to you. And I haven't seen a person yet that sat on council that didn't like being a city councilman, that didn't want to run again. But January 1st is a time for new beginnings. It's a time for new resolutions. It's a time to make commitments. And I heard just today that in 90 days, 90% of all resolutions that were made by human beings will be broken, or they will stop. I suggest to you tonight, and Mr. Rowe, I sat in your seat. I sat over here in one of these seats for 12 years. I sat in this chamber for 15 years as a deputy or as your city manager. 15 years of 29 years and a few months that I served were the best years and the days of my life. I think it's an important time. I sat, Mr. Rowe, where you are, and I was not pleased sometimes of how uncomfortable your seat can become sometimes when citizens are talking to you about actions you did or you didn't take that you should have taken. Mayor, you have the opportunity to lead a city that desperately needs leadership. If there's a city in the state of Virginia that needs good leadership, I will tell you it's the city of Portsmouth tonight. To the other 6 members as vice mayor of city council, it's important that you work together as a team. I looked at the paper when the 4 of you were sworn in, and I don't know where the pilot representative is tonight, but what a shame it was for the Virginia pilot to print a picture of 4 people that it looked like they posted individual 4 pictures of you, and there was certainly not a smile on your face, and there certainly wasn't a commitment of camaraderie or teamwork in that picture. I ask that you start January 1st, 2013, working with the citizens, working as a city council to make the city better, working with a city manager that has the expertise of having served in many locations throughout the city, that has been on both sides of the fence, that got fired and got hired. And that's not unusual for a city manager. If he does his job, he puts himself in that position almost every day, because he has to make decisions that you've hired him to make. I would suggest that you take, with your leadership, and you list those things that you did not accomplish in 2012, and make them a commitment that you clear them up in 2013. And I don't mean just brushing them to the side, but taking actions. And if people have asked questions and they didn't get the answer, find out what answer. They may not like it, but give them an answer. And I think that's a part of being a commitment. I know that many times, and I look up there, Mr. Moody can tell you, Marlene Randall can tell you, I'll wrap up, Mayor. I made just one.
Thank you. Good night, sir. Appreciate it. Very good seeing you.
Ms. Donna Side is followed by Mr. Bruce Ballard.
Good evening. My name is Donna Side. I live in the Woodbine Farm section of Churchland. Principle of Liberty 8. Men are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. Because we have these rights, we have public and private duties to protect them. One of our public duties is to perform our civic responsibilities. Vote, assist public officials, serve in official capacities when called upon, stay informed on public issues, and volunteer where needed. staying informed on public issues has been a challenge for us in our city. The first issue, at the public hearing on January the 2nd, there was a list of responsibilities for council liaisons. I need information about the assignments, where the meetings will be held, the date and time of the meeting, who will receive reports of the representatives' actions, when and how the liaison reports are provided to the citizens. The second issue, money was spent for 3 studies done to develop a downtown master plan. Mayor Wright has succeeded in spending $65,000 for a study concerning the jail, which is part of the downtown master plan. I want to know, why is such a push to destroy the civic center, the jail, and the police department, in spite of the continued increase in citizens' population? There were 3 waterfront studies done in May 2008. One study cost over $352,000. The second study cost over $268,000. The third study was awarded to Wallace Robertson Todd LLC. The cost of their study was unavailable to me. The reason for the planning department was the company was contracted to develop the comprehensive plan in 2004, 2005. Therefore, these records are no longer available. On the bid sheet for the city, the date the company was contracted was May the 13th, 2008. I have written Mr. Alan Pruitt of Wallace Roberts Todd LLC to find out the truth of the matter. I want to know how much money the city paid this company and what were the services rendered. At the swearing-in ceremony, the mayor stated a number of times that Portsmouth is a historic city. If Portsmouth is such a historic city, why does he want all the buildings from the past torn down? The third issue, a newspaper article in the Current, dated 12/16/12, printed Ms. Simmons' remarks concerning non-agenda speakers. She stated non-agenda speakers were grandstanding or putting on a performance. I take offense by that remark. Are you talking about me, Ms. Simmons? She stated that non-agenda speakers can email the city clerk's office, and she says, I don't think it's the responsibility of the council to air their views on public television. When I gave an email feedback to council about what she said in the article, Ms. Simmons responded. The reporter asked me my opinion to non-agenda speakers being televised, and that is what I gave him. Elizabeth Simmons' views, just like you. I too have my own opinions on many matters. It was a position I've stated publicly many times before. My discussion with the reporter was not about what most people would like or a survey of citizens' opinions. It was a simple question to which I gave a simple answer. No, Elizabeth, you are not like me. I am not elected to city council, and my personal opinions do not get in the newspaper, and neither should yours. The voice of over 18,000 people who voted for you need to be consulted on all public issues that will sooner or later affect them. How did you get a law passed without going through the work session and public hearing process? The city council enabled you to push your own agenda, create a law that took away the democratic process, and disregarded principle of Liberty 17. A system of checks and balances should be adopted to prevent the abuse of power. The council, under your direction, has abused their power. The law needs to be repealed. This is an unjust law. Give back to all the people their right to be seen and heard. Thanks for listening.
Mr. Bruce Ballard, and he's followed by Mr. Mark Geduldig-Yatrofsky.
Thank you very much, council members. I'm Bruce Ballard. I live at 1204 Marshland Circle in the River Point section of Portsmouth. I had sent to you all some letters just briefly about 3 years ago on behalf of the River Point Property Owners Association. We had gone to the city traffic engineer requesting that all of River Point Drive be made no parking. He ended up saying, well, we have a number of cars that continue to park on that street, and he said, well, we have to be sure that the city provides parking for everybody. I said, well, there's no homes on that street. Only address on that street is the River Point Clubhouse. And then talked about, as you can see in the little drawing that I provided you. The width of River Point Parkway is considerably wider, and it's 2 lanes going in, 2 lanes going out. River Point Drive is a 2-lane road going both ways, and the River Point Parkway is marked no parking, and we can park on River Point Drive. We have a total of there's 642 total residences inside that River Point Homeowners Association. There's a second section that's off to the left-hand side that's not part of that. But there are 471 residences that ride down this street that I'd like to see no parking put on. That amounts to 73% of all the traffic that comes in there. And down River Point Parkway, which is wider and divided highway, on a divided street, is only 27% of the traffic that goes down there. With the advent of the new container shipping thing, there are lots of now tractor trailers that have begun parking in there also. They create a blind spot for anybody trying to ride down that highway, and it's not a highway, a city street.
Referring to River Point Drive or West Norfolk Road?
Well, we're now having some of those 18-wheelers come into the full neighborhood. They haven't been going all the way down River Point Parkway. They're making a turn going on River Point Drive and parking along there. They create a problem. You can park along there. 2 years ago, a gentleman made a turn off of River Point Parkway onto River Point Drive. The sun blinded him, and he ran into the back of an 18-wheeler sitting there. It's dangerous, and we would just like you to consider taking what necessary steps there are to alleviate this problem before we have somebody who's going to get hurt. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Battle, let me ask